I talk about what are the factor okay determine my demand for labor. Okay. So I write quantity demand of labor is a function of on price, that is wage, price of labor. Then you have marginal revenue and marginal physical product of labor, because demand for labor is a product of these two terms, marginal revenue and marginal physical product of labor. And price of substitute factor of production, price of complement factor of production. Okay. With respect to on price, it is downwards. There will be movement along the curve. Okay. And when there is a change in any other factor, okay, we will have shift in the curve. Either there is an increase in demand or there is a decrease in demand. Okay, that we have done. Okay. So in one of the part, when I am doing about this technology, okay, or marginal revenue, okay, they need for one correction. Okay, that is what I am doing. So what is this marginal revenue product of labor? It is a product of marginal revenue and marginal physical product of labor. Okay. So when I am talking about this marginal revenue, okay, in the analysis, body part is correct, okay, but later on I talk about there is increase in price, decrease in quantity demanded, okay. So when there is decrease in quantity demanded, okay, I talk about this thing. Price increases, there is decrease in quantity demanded, okay. And given the cost structure, okay, what will happen? Because there is a decrease in quantity demanded, never demand will decrease. Something like that I have done, okay. But that is not correct way to do, because when we are looking at this term, okay, when we are looking at this part, okay, so there is a little bit of complexity. Why? Because when you are looking at total revenue, it is trying to be quantity. One is increasing, other is falling. Okay, one is increasing, other is falling. Then what is happening to my total revenue? I will not know until I don't know the elasticity. Okay. So it will be difficult, and we don't want to change two variables. We can do that by changing one variable and looking at the impact, okay, but it will be quite difficult. Okay. As far as I see, because last night I am writing the notes, and I see what I have given you people, okay, because I focus more on this individual behavior. Okay. The price increases, quantity demanded for, okay, given the cost structure. Since quantity demanded from the you will one less level. Okay. So this thing we will not use, okay, when we are talking about marginal revenue or productivity. Okay. Only this part I will change it. Okay. And the reason being, when price increases, quantity demanded from it, okay, you will not be able to state for sure, okay, what is actually happening to your total revenue. Everyone got my point? Why I am not using this analysis, this part of the analysis? Yes, no? Okay. So total revenue, okay, is suppose price is 10, quantity you are selling is 10, so it is 100. Okay. Suppose there is an increase in price, so from 10 to 12, okay, but the quantity formed by 5. From 10 quantity formed to 5. Now your output you are selling is 5. Now what is the total revenue now? 20 to 5, 60. Okay. One argument is this. Yeah. Suppose price increases to 12, but your quantity formed only by 1 unit, from 10 to 9. Then how much will be the total revenue? 108. Okay. So this part of the analysis, okay, that I have done yesterday, no need to use it. Okay. There will be different possibility. Okay, we no need to go into that. Okay, that is what I am saying. Just remove that part. Cut it. Okay. After marginal revenue, okay, body part is okay, but after this I have done this analysis. Just remove this part. Is it clear what part you have to remove? Okay. Because there will be two based on your elasticity. Okay. We don't know which direction your total revenue will go, so no need to use this part. Now, what I am doing is that I am simplifying it, because I don't want to change both, okay, directly. Okay. We will do it in a comparative static way, that means changing the equilibrium, okay, directly. Okay. So we have this product, okay, marginal revenue product of labor, Okay, is nothing but your marginal revenue times marginal physical product. Okay, so we have our initial demand curve. This is marginal revenue product of labor. You write labor, and here you write wage. Okay, so when I am doing any wage line or supply curve for the labor, okay, this wage is determined in the labor market. So you have demand for labor, and you have supply of labor. Okay, these wage will be taken as given by our representative firm. Okay, and this is the demand. What is this point? The demand for labor equals supply of labor. What we call this point? The demand equals supply. Yeah, equilibrium. Okay. So this point is called equilibrium. Equilibrium for the representative firm in the competitive labor market. Okay. So what topic you have? Okay. Discuss the equilibrium. Okay. Of factor of production in the perfect competitive market in a competitive market. So you have to draw this graph. Okay. So you have market equilibrium here. Okay. Because there are large number of firms, say thousands of firms. I am looking at only one firm. One firm is very small. Okay. So at this market visit, it can employ as many workers as is want. Okay. So supply curve of labor is horizontal or perfectly elastic. Okay. So where demand and supply of labor interact, you have equilibrium. Okay. At different wage rates, there will be different demand condition. Okay. So if wage is lower, if there is a change here, either supply change or demand change, wage will be lower, demand for labor will be increasing. Okay. And you will have new equilibrium. Okay. We are not doing that. So in the second part, okay, when I am talking, so wage we have done, movement along this curve. Okay. In the second part, okay, I am talking about marginal revenue product. Okay. So here I talk first about marginal revenue. So what is marginal revenue? Additional revenue generated by selling one more unit of product. Okay. And in perfect competition, okay, marginal revenue is nothing but your price. The price of the product. Okay. So when you are selling any product, okay, you are getting price for that. Okay, value of that product. Now it is clear. Yes. Oh. Now, what I am saying, suppose for any reason, okay, we are not going to the reason, okay, but I will show you later. Okay. Suppose for any reason, okay, there is an increase in price of the product. Price of the product increases. So when price of the product increases, what does it mean? Because in perfect competition we know price is equal to AR equal to MR. Okay. So when price of the product increases, what will happen? MR will increase. Everyone okay? When price increases, additional revenue that I am getting, it increases. Okay. So what happens for the given technology? When MR increases, your marginal revenue product of labor also increases. Okay. Also increases for the same wage rate. So when I am increasing this one, I am taking all this to be given. That means for the given wage rate, there will be increasing demand for labor. Okay. There will be increasing demand for labor. Okay. Under what condition price will increase? Okay. This I am looking at representative firm. Okay. I will not know under what condition price will increase by looking at representative firm. Okay. It is given to this firm that this is the price given to the firm. Okay. But where price are determined? Price of the commodity are determined. Where price of the product is determined? In the product market. Everyone agree? Yes, no? Okay. So price of the product is determined in the product market. Okay. So let me rub this part and let's look at the product market. I am moving from labor market to product market. Okay. So keep this aside. Okay. I am not looking at this part. This is new thing. Okay. Come to the commodity market or product market. Okay. So in the product market, okay, you have industry. So this is a demand curve in the market. This is market demand curve, market supply curve. Supply of product. Say output I write output here, price here, price. And this is the price that every firm has to pay. So this is our representative firm, same firm in the product market. So this is the price given to this firm. Okay. Price equal to AI equal to MR, that condition you know. Okay. This is the price given to the firm. Okay. So short term marginal cost curve, the supply curve of firm, that you know I am not going to do that. Okay. Given the cost condition, it is going to be. Okay. So that is not part of our syllabus. So I am not doing it. Now. So what we are saying is that suppose there is an increase in price. So let's look at here this graph. Okay. Under what condition price will increase? There are two possibilities. One, your supply reduces, but I am saying that cost condition is not changing. That I cannot do anything to cost. Okay. That means there is some increase in demand in the market. In the industry itself, demand for this product increases from B to B prime. Okay. This is clear? For the given cost condition, because cost condition is not changing, so its supply curve will not change in the industry. Okay? Supply curve will not change. Rashida is not able to join. She is not sending me. Okay. Now, Lucky send me, then I am joining her. So, your demand curve will shift. Okay? So, when demand curve will shift in the product market, what will happen? Price will increase from P to P prime. Okay. New price is this one, P prime, which is equal to AI equal to MR. So your marginal revenue increases. Okay. So when your marginal revenue increases, what will happen? For the same wastage, look at this graph. Okay, let me fill up this part that I can have space to write. Now look at the labor market. Okay. I am looking at representative firm. Okay. What will happen for the same wastage? Because wage is not changing. Okay. What will happen? When marginal revenue increases, given the productivity and other things remain constant, okay, your demand curve for labor will shift right here. Okay. Previously, what it is your MR, okay, MR times marginal physical product of labor. Now, what it is marginal physical product of labor prime is MR prime times marginal physical product of labor. Because here I have taken P prime. P prime equal to A prime, AR prime equal to MR. Okay. Now it is clear why it shift? Yes, no? Okay. So this is your new equilibrium. Okay. New equilibrium for the representative firm. Okay. Similarly, when there is a change in technology, okay, when there is an improvement in technology, suppose firm has changed the machinery. Improve technology brought up. Okay. So for the given marginal revenue, if there is an increase in productivity, I am saying increase in productivity, then demand for labor also increases. Okay. Then for the same wages, same graph you have to draw. This curve will shift to the right. Clear? Yes, no? Okay. One more thing. Okay. Like I say that. Capital and labor I have presented to be substitute, but in the notes I find that it is NAND. Okay, it will confuse. Okay, so I have changed it and provided it. Okay, so keep it the way I have provided. Okay, it will be easier to understand. Okay, so when we are looking at price of substitute factor of production, substitute, what I have taken substitute? Capital, right? So capital and labor are substitute. Substitute factor of production. Okay. So I have given the example of tea and coffee. When the price of coffee increases, what you will do? Consumption of tea increases. Why? Because this tea price is not changing. Okay. When we are doing that quantity demanded of tea, it is a function of price of tea, comma price of coffee, price of sugar, taste and preference, and money income. So given all these things, everything remains constant, satisfied by that thing. If price of coffee increases, coffee is what? Substitute. Okay. So when price of substitute increases, okay, since price of tea is not changing, tea is relatively cheaper. So I will consume more tea. Demand for tea increases. Similarly, in this case, what I am saying that this is perfectly okay. Only thing is that capital never I talk about, so I just make it. So when price of capital, which is your rate of interest, okay, increases, okay, then capital become costlier. Capital become relatively costlier. So what firm will do? Firm will employ more labor for the same wages because wage is not changing. Okay. Now here what will happen? On this thing will remain constant. Price of substitute only changes. Only this thing is changing. On other thing constant. Okay. So this is demand curve for labor. Marginal revenue product of labor. Okay. For the same wage rate, this is the equilibrium you have. Labor wage. Okay. For the same wage rate, when price of substitute increases, okay, then what you will do? You will substitute capital for labor. Now you will be using more labor in the production process to produce same output. Okay. Your marginal revenue product of labor curve should right here. Okay. And in order to understand this, I don't know you have done or not. Okay. Isocon. Anyone remember the definition of isocon? Equal product curve, right? In the production function. Anyone, you people have done isocon? Yes, no? Speak. Okay. So isocon, okay. Iso means equal, quant means product. Okay. So isocon is a equal product curve. Okay. It is a locus of combination of inputs. Okay. That is giving you equal same amount of output. So here you are taking capital. This is I am talking about production. Okay. I am doing this in order to make you understand substitute. Okay. So here you have capital, you have labor. Okay. So by having different combinations, say 10 unit of capital, 2 unit of labor, 8 unit of capital, 5 unit of labor. Okay. In this way you will combine and you will draw isocon. 5 unit of capital, 8 unit of labor. Okay. So this is isocon. So you can use different combination of capital and labor, okay, to produce same unit of output, say 10 unit. Okay. So when capital become relatively costlier, okay, I will substitute capital for labor. The demand for labor will increase. What is happening? Demand of labor is 2, then here it is 5, then here it is 8. Okay. So you can use 8 unit of labor and 5 unit of capital to produce same output. Clear? So this part is clear to everyone? Yes, no? Jessica just wake up in the morning, right? Okay. Now, price of complement factor of production. That means that both factor of production are used together. Okay. So when price of land increases, okay, not only demand for land increases. Not only demand for land decreases. Okay. Demand for labor also decreases for the same reason. So now I am changing this, keeping on this to be constant. Okay. This is your original demand curve of labor. Now let's resolve. Here your wage, here you have labor. So for the same wage rate, okay, this is the original demand of labor, say N1, ON1, okay, and wage is OW. We read from here, OW is the wage, ON1 is the total labor demand. Okay, so price of complement factor of production increases, say labor. So when price of complement factor of production increases, okay, not only demand for that factor of production will reduce, but the complement factor of production will also reduce. Demand for labor reduce from N1 to say N1. So your demand curve will say left. And see, when you are drawing it, okay, don't draw like a straight line. We have done this thing. When you are drawing a straight line, okay, slope is constant. We are having a decreasing slope, decreasing a decreasing rate. Clear? Not constant slope. This is constant slope. So even when I am giving the example to you people driving by giving different example different neighbor, okay, different demand for neighbor for different region at different video. I am not drawing this constant slope, okay, decreasing slope, decreasing and decreasing slope, okay. So when you are having a this kind of slope, okay, say you have price of neighbor and here your neighbor, so it will be like this. The price of neighbor is 10, demand of neighbor is 1, 20, demand of neighbor is 2, 30, demand of neighbor is 3. Okay. You take out the slope, 40, demand of price of neighbor, wait. Okay, 50. Okay, when price is 50, demand of neighbor is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have to draw negative this now, you have to write like this. Okay. So when price of neighbor is 50, demand of neighbor is 1. When it is 40, demand of neighbor is 2. When it is 30, demand of neighbor is 3, and so on. Then one you can have constant slope. Take the slope of this one, then P over then Q1, then PL, price of neighbor, that is range here. So you will get constant slope, it will be 20, negative 20. In the denominator it will be negative sign will be coming. How? 20 minus 10, P2 minus P1 divided by change in quantity, it will be 4 minus 5. Then it will be negative sign. So it will be having minus 2. And interpretation we have done in the demand for goods. Okay. So how you can interpret this one? Anyone? If I write change in P over change in Q equal to minus 20, how you will interpret this one? This slope is negative. Everyone agree? Okay. So forget about this term. Okay. This component term. Okay. Remember this term. When there is a change in price, okay, quantity is decreasing, right? Negative sign. Okay. So in the denominator we are taking 1 unit. Okay. We are taking 1 unit. Okay. So remember this part. Okay. In the denominator there will be 1 unit change whenever we are changing the price. Okay. Now look at this. Wait. 20 minus 10 it will be 10, not 20. Okay. Okay, let me do it. So what is changing price of neighbor, changing quantity? Is P2 minus P1 over Q2 minus Q1. Okay. What is P2? 20 minus 10 is 10, and this is 4 minus 5 is minus 1. So minus 1 will come. So it will be minus 10. Similarly, you do for this one. 30 minus 20 is 10. 3 minus 4 is minus 1. You will be getting minus 10. Okay. So your slope is minus 10. Now I have to interpret this one. So at every point here, your slope will be constant. Slope will be constant. Okay. So we have to interpret this one. So what we are looking at? Okay. So when price found by 10, price of neighbor found by 10 rupee. Okay. Whenever there is a fall in price by 10 rupee, okay, what is happening? Price of neighbor is 50, is found by 10 rupee. Demand of neighbor increases by 1 unit. Okay. Demand of neighbor, quantity of neighbor increases by 1 unit. When price found from 50 to 40, demand of neighbor increases from 1 to 2. Similarly, okay, at every point we see that the price is 30 suppose. Okay. If price found by 10 rupee, okay, demand for neighbor increases by 1 unit. Okay. At every point you will get this thing. Okay. That is why you have constant slope. But if you remember the table that we have done, okay, we don't have constant slope. It is decreasing slope, decreasing and decreasing rate.